I hope you all are having fun. So, today I'm going to talk about my life journey and especially those three cars which changed my life. But before we begin, as you can see, there are three cars in my PPT as well. But before we begin, I would like to take you through my childhood journey, where I come from, who I am. So, I was born in a very small village in Rajasthan, uh, which is called Fulera. And I was living as in a joint family where around 40 people were living in my house. The entire village celebrated everything as if it was just one mere family. Everyone was celebrating even the smallest incidents of their life, even the smallest acts of their life, as if it was their own. I remember one story, one of the army person who got promoted from my village, he got a higher rank in his army grade, and we got a call on STD calls. At those times, there was STD booths, so there was only one phone in entire village. So somebody received the call and he said that, okay, our friend has got promoted. It was around 4 p.m. afternoon time, and by 7 p.m., the whole of the village was celebrating as if the village got army promotion or something. So that's how connected Rajasthani villages are. The lives of Rajasthani people who live together, how they connected they are, is amazing, is phenomenal. It's like tradition flows through blood of every Rajasthani. It's like culture is celebrated in part of each and every part of Rajasthan as if it's their own. So that is my childhood in a small village. But when I was 17, there was something different which happened by the grace of God. I moved to Oxford for my further studies. So from Fulera to Oxford, the journey was with a lot of challenges, with a lot of things which I learned there. It was full of fun, yet it was full of challenges. But those challenges were the challenges of the culture I was earlier speaking about. So when I moved to Oxford, there was culture shock such as you can imagine a guy from literally a village going to Oxford for studies, how difficult it would have been for him to understand the language they speak, the accent they speak, the way they communicate, and the way they project their communication. So challenge was not limited to language, the challenge was everywhere. To my daily life, even to my food. So, for matter of fact, Rajasthan is biggest vegetarian eating state in India. 73% of people are vegetarian in Rajasthan. So when I moved there, I hardly seen anyone having non-veg in my village. Definitely not. Even in my state, it was like rarely you came across non-veg eating or things like that. But once I moved to Oxford, almost everyone was eating chicken and meat. And they were asking me questions, don't you eat chicken? And I was like, no, I'm vegetarian. And they're like, vegetarian? What's that? Where do you get your protein from? And I was like, there's no point arguing about it. There's no point speaking much more about it because the conflict go on and go on and go on. And something similar like that happened, which reminded me of my first car incident. So this is where the story of first car comes. Same as I'm telling about culture shock, I got my first car when I was around 20, 21 years old. And to get a car in UK is quite difficult than what we see in India. The driving license, actually you have to give exams. Actually you have to prepare for it, you have to work hard for it, and it's like getting a degree when you get a driving license in the UK. It's not as easy or as we all know how we get in India. So I got my driving license and I bought my first car and I was all excited. As I told you, the traditions were flowing through my blood as in all Indians and Rajasthanis especially. Once I got the car, I immediately rushed to the temple to follow the rituals and traditions which we always follow, and I got the prayers done. The coconut was finally broken, and I took my car back to my friends, and I was all happy, and I was expecting some nice comments. But again, as culture shock, another shock came, and the shock was something like this. Everyone was like, are you mad? Why you got this painting? And I was like, what do you mean? this is swastik. And they were like, oh yeah, is it swastik, you Nazi? And that's how culture shocks you. That's how diversity shocks you. That's how tradition shocks you. Something is right here, but that's just the opposite at the place on the other side of the land. That's when it hit me, how the society conditions you, how the cultures conditions you, how your belief system conditions you, and how you are not believing what you are seeing, rather than you are believing what you are seeing through the eyes of societies which have taught you this is the way of looking at things, this is the way of seeing things, and this is the way of believing in things, believing in traditions. That was a complete shocking time once I compare my life in Rajasthan and in Oxford. Once I compare my life in a small village to the most student town in the world, the Oxford. And that's when you realize that life is not about what you believe, or life is not about what you feel important is. It is more about how many belief systems you encounter in your entire journey. Once that belief systems were sorted, I came back to Rajasthan. I came back to start my businesses. I started few businesses in India, got miserably failed, got 3 startups lined up. All 3 were biggest failures of my life. But at the same time, I was failure in understanding what should I call mine. The culture where I was raised, which was deeply rooted in me, I cannot call it further mine. Because in that culture, in that tradition, I could see the flaws. I could see what is not right in this tradition, but at the same time, I could see what is not right in the tradition of East. I could see that we are suffering from caste issues, but I could also see that the world is suffering from racism. I could see that we are here talking about status symbol. We are divided by rich and poor, but they were divided by the accent they speak. It is not what we are divided by, but it is more about, are we divided or not? Are we putting our belief system in the individuals, in the generation which is coming further? Are we saying that we as elders are right and you as youngsters are not right? Are we challenging our youngsters that please accept our belief system or leave your system, otherwise you will fail in life? If we are doing that, we are not doing something right as a society. We are not doing something right to the capacity of individual who can become Sachin or Sehwag or any player he like or any singer he wants to become. That belief system from the elder society, from the elders, is stopping the younger generation which is coming forth. This burden, my friends, can take all your confidence away. This burden, my friends, can destroy you. But as a senior person, as I have started my business, as being almost successful entrepreneur, I would like to request the younger generation, do not let this societal burden destroy your belief system, destroy your confidence. Do not let anybody have control of your life. Do not let anyone do what they want from you. Rather, just focus on yourself and don't lose the trust in yourself. The trust in yourself is the only wealth you have, and to empower it, I'll tell you some strategies which I have taken care of. This trust in yourself is very important for you. It's very important for your growth. While going through all these issues, while not belonging from anywhere, while not even feeling I was living, but I was not living as such. I was alive, but I was not again living. So those are the transition period which I have gone through, and I want to share with you that in those periods when my businesses were failing, when I was failing as a person, when society ideas were failing, when everything was failing and falling apart for me, this is the time when in mere 4 months I had to suffer 4 major accidents. Because I could not concentrate anywhere, I could not focus anywhere. It was all the tensions, it was all the questions, it was the fire of the questions. Whether am I doing right? Whether these societal beliefs are right? Whether those society beliefs are right? Who am I? That was the immediate question. That was the fire which changed my life. This questioning of myself was heard, and then universe has its own unique ideas of answering your prayers. This is what I call prayer, that your questions should be a 100 degrees Celsius question. It should be burning fire within you. The prayer is not that I want this, please give me this. The real prayer is whether you are having that fire in you, whether you really seeking some answers, some solutions, something which is beyond you, and are you like a child. Remember, friends, this is the time when I understood when Jesus said, only a childlike person will enter into my kingdom of God. This is the child I'm talking about. The child who does not have Rajasthani or British or English or South or East. I have traveled more than 40 countries. I have seen that everywhere there is a belief system. If you are able to break that belief system, you will stand alone, and that independent you will be burning with the fire of questions. And this is when the anxiety will hit you. This is where you will change. This is where I have changed. Thus, accidents were the story of my car number 2. Now we'll move to car number 3. But before that, there was a journey which is understanding of self, which was understanding of me, which was understanding of the universe. I started reading a lot. I started questioning a lot. I started questioning myself, why am I alive? What is the purpose of me coming to this planet? If all I have to do is follow the rituals, the traditions, then there is no specific reason that God created me. God cannot be that miser that it merely created you to live a life and die. The universal power is such huge that each and everyone has the God sitting within you. It is all about how we experience it. It is all about how much of hardship you go through. This is the time, once you realize that who you are, then the art of letting go will come. The art of living in the moment will come. The art of here and now will come. You will for the first time understand the meaning of love. You will for the first time understand that love is not taking, it is rather giving. Love is basically a surrendering. As Kabir said, प्रेम गली अति सांकरी, जामे दो न समाए, जब मैं हूं तो पिया नहीं, पिया है तो मैं नहीं. That is the first time when you'll understand that in love, it is only him. You have to dissolve into him. That is the first time when you learn the giving, the art of giving. And with this kind of understanding, with this kind of love, which lifts you up, there comes great responsibilities. With great freedom, which I feel today, there comes a great responsibility. That's the story of my car number 3, because with love, I understood that life is all about giving, and finally, I got the chance to buy my father the car he deserved, the car he loved. So I gifted him last month. That's my car number 3, my dear friends. I wish all of you break the barriers of your life. I wish all of you get the fire within you. I hope you all burn with the questions for yourself. I hope you burn out yourself so much that the answers come to you. You do not seek them anymore. Thank you so much, and thank you for listening to me.